be a different story.
And I'm actually recording it. Thank you for reminding me. I even had a sticky saying record, and I still would have forgot.
Oh, Christine, you've got so much on your mind. You're doing so much good for us. I appreciate it. So.
Oh, no problem. I think Jeannie won't be here until 4. She sent me a Facebook message. So,
Oh, did you now?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm wondering then if I should join at, well, let me see if their parents text me. I'm sorry, this is grandkids, and maybe I'll jump in at 4 then.
Yeah, she said she couldn't get here until a bit before 4, but she'll be here for sure. So it's up to you, however you want to do it.
Yeah. I can decide.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
So just go ahead and put in chat. I have Catherine, David, Marta, and then possibly Anne with the question mark. So if you want to talk, put your name in chat, and I'll get your names and put you on the list from there. And you don't have to wait for your partner unless you want to. So you know everybody always has something different and cool to say, and and we are recording, just so everybody knows. That way, because I have a couple of people that weren't able to make it that asked if I was going to record, and so they wanted to see, and hear and stuff like that. So how's everybody doing today? Is everybody able to stay off the news and have a life?
Oh my God. Yeah. Things change like every millisecond. It's like, oh, this has been a whirlwind of political mishigas.
I know. They're using the word schadenfreude right now.
Okay,
I haven't had access to the news, so I'm wondering how Trump's doing.
Oh, his doctors say he's doing okay. So
yes,
whatever that means.
Getting the best of science.
Yeah. Yeah, but every few minutes somebody new has it, it feels like. So.
Oh, I know.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
If you're just coming on and you want to talk, put your name in chat. Okay, so right now I have Catherine, David, Marta, possibly Anne, and Denise. So I saw a couple of highs, but I didn't know if that was, if you wanted to talk or not, but put your name. All righty, Karen.
Ruth.
And you can either talk individually or wait for your partner, either way, so. And Ruth just came on, David, so perfect.
Oh, good.
I was hoping to talk with Lucy, but I don't know. I assume she's going to make it.
Yeah. And okay, Maria, gotcha. And Karen. I hope everybody's staying sane and healthy through everything.
Yes.
Hi, Christine.
Hello.
Hello, David.
Hi, Buki.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Hello, everybody.
If you are just coming on, I'm recording, so that way people can go back and watch this later on. And if you want to talk, go ahead and put your name in chat. So I have David's name, Ibuki, so you guys could talk together early on. So, and we'll get started in a couple minutes. I'm letting a few more people in. They're slowly.
You have a lot more people for the next one?
Actually, less so far. I mean, normally, like, we have a week to go. Normally, the week of, we get more people, but so far there's a little less. And it's actually a little longer time period, too. This one was shorter. Here's Lucy. This one was shorter, but the next one is actually going to be a little longer. I think it's 8 days. So unfortunately, it just kind of had to work out that way according to my schedule when I had, different things going on the weekends and stuff, plus, Halloween and the holidays. I'll have to work around that somehow, so.
Christine, excuse me, how do I change
Yeah, how do I change the name? Because it's my daughter's name, Rachel. It's not my, how do I change that? Do you
I can
know?
change it for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hmm.
All right, there we go.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Christine.
You're welcome. Let's see. So I have Maria, Valerie, and Country. If you're just coming in, I am recording this, so I just want to let you know. And if you want to talk about your experience, about the work, put your name in chat. And just in case, here is a link to the online exhibition too. And if like the call is out for round 8, so if you want to participate, you still have a week to sign up for it, but please do. And so here's the information about round 8 there. And okay, I got you, Tom and Britta. And let's see. Okay, cool. And if I miss it and your partner is talking, feel free to talk with your partner. Let me see. I don't remember.
Okay.
I see Lucy arrived.
Yeah. So you two will be first. Let's see. And let's see, we can go ahead and get started. I'll just let more people in as they come in. So thank you all so much for being here. I was thinking about it. This is our 7th time, and there's been quite a few of you who have done every single time, or at least like 4 or 5 of the, all of the rounds. So it's really, I love like each time watching you guys are doing different things, which is cool. And it seems like you're experimenting and playing, and I really love to watch that. And these like artist talk receptions, I feel like they're kind of, it's almost like a monthly meetup or something. We get together and talk about our art or our, of course, the experience with the project, but it's always nice to see you guys. So thank you for being here. Yeah, and just to go, I know a few of you are new. Stacy, it's so great to see you. I think, gosh, it's been like a few years since we met in person.
It's been too long since I saw you in person, yes.
I know. So it's great to see you. What was I going to say now? As most of you know, I started, myself and my team with Shoebox PR started call and response in March. It was just within a couple days after we went on lockdown in Los Angeles. And, we were trying to figure out a way to support artists, to keep finding, for us also, but to help artists stay busy and stay like maybe distracted over everything that was going on, especially early on, we were all stressed and anxious. We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't, being on lockdown was hard and, and sometimes boring or, so many different emotions and, reactions. So we thought this would be a great way to help artists stay busy. And also, like a lot of people like myself, I live alone. And so I'm very lucky to be at the brewery where I can walk outside my door and talk to a neighbor mask or walk to the mailbox and talk to, I have a lot of friends here, but a lot of people don't. And so we felt it was a way for artists to connect, to be able to talk to somebody else every day and, create, just be creative every day, however that looked for you. And it didn't even have to be like a regular painting that took you hours to do. It could be a photograph that you took in 15 or 20 minutes, so it was just some way of like switching your mind. So we did round 1, which had over 100 artists, which was amazing. And it was, it was so cool to hear all of the artists, talk about their work. And then ever since then, it's pretty much been monthly. It has been monthly. Each time we have between 60 and 80 artists. And this time we have 84. So, and actually the surprising thing, normally every single time I have a couple of artists that weren't able to continue. And this time, you know, every single artist continued. So maybe it was because it was a little shorter, or because some of the artists who have done it before kind of, everybody's a little lenient, or some people are a little more strict, but some of you are a little more lenient. And I mean, even when I did it, you know, sometimes I'd get a piece of art within 2 hours to the artist, and a couple times it would take 2 or 3 days. And, you know, but it depends on who you're working with. You know, everybody's pretty cool about, you know, about it because of everything we're going through. So, but, you know, I'm just happy to continue doing it and to continue bringing all of this, you know, to you and helping you and helping me. I couldn't do it this time because I just had too much stuff going on, but I'm going to do it again next time. So let me see. Let me make sure. Oh, okay, Jeannie. I don't know if she's still here or not, but if you're just coming on, be sure put your name in chat if you want to talk. I already have a little list going, so I will add you to the list. And just in case you, where'd it go? You didn't see the exhibition by some chance, I'll put a link to that in chat. That way I'm not gonna share my screen or anything, because with so many artists, it could just take too long to go back and forth. So it's just more of a conversation about the experience, about if you've done it before, differences or similarities, you know, how you connected with your other partner, things you experimented with and tried. And, you know, we want to hear. It's always inspiring listening to other artists. And, you know, I've been going to an eating disorder support group. And one thing I realized, and it's the same thing with like these artist meetups and even things like this, it's, you know, it's like we feel like we're not alone. And so like being an artist working today and talking like we have been, you know, it's like as an artist, we're not alone, you know, in the struggles that we've been going through and whatever it is. And so, you know, I'm happy to be here with all of you. So let's see, I have you barred. Alrighty, so with that, does anybody have any questions about anything before we get started?
Has anyone sold anything through this? I'm wondering.
Not that I know of, but last time we had a good conversation about sales though. An artist had asked, like there was a work that somebody was interested in, but he had, you know, it was work that he had taken, you know, that he had done on top of another artist's work. And so we had a really good conversation about what that would look like. If it sold or, you know, and I mean, the takeaway was talk to your artist, you know, talk to your collaborator and set the ground rules, you know, either ahead of time or, you know, or just, I mean, communication is very important. So, but no, I don't think, I haven't heard of anything, but I know of a lot of artists who have submitted the work that they did for this to shows, and they have been in shows. So that's pretty cool. So let's see. So I have Kayla with Denise, and Denise is down here already, so I'll put you there, Kayla. And Lena, and oh, you know, good question. Actually, I'm gonna text Emily and see, Lena, where are you? Wait, we need to see your dog.
Yeah, let me see if I can bring him in.
Okay, Lena just got a new puppy that, oh my God, is the cutest.
I did not get much sleep, so. With a new puppy.
Let's see. Let me text Emily. Oops. Emily works for me at Shoebox, so. Let's see. So I have you down there. Alrighty. With that, all right, Catherine and Lucy, if you want to take it away.
Okay. Lucy, do you want to start?
Start.
Well, you have to tell the story. You guys were paired up randomly, but you know each other.
Yeah, we know each other. It was a total surprise because I really don't know anybody else in this group except a few people that I sort of met from the last round. And Catherine is the only other person that we're friends from elsewhere, OMA, the Oceanside Museum of Art. And it was, we couldn't believe it that we were paired. So that was super fun. And I guess I'll go first. So this was really great. I just loved it. I loved the last round as well. This is my second round, and this time, I mean, Catherine's photography and digital work is just like wonderful and was totally inspiring to me. And we were back and forth around sort of natural landscapes or trees and leaves, and I was just like, yay, I get to do a deep dive into sort of leaves and trees. So I kind of really enjoyed that and appreciated that, and I'm always you know, exploring different aspects of the tech that I use. So that was fun, and the whole process was just very supportive, inspiring, and friendly, and it was great. So thank you, Catherine, and thank you, Christine, for doing this. Oh my God, this is it's really inspiring, and I really love the daily connection back and forth.
Good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's my third time, and I was thrilled to be paired up with Lucy. And I feel like she's a tree and leaf mate, soulmate. So it was nice to be connected on that. And I feel like I'd love to do some collaborations maybe in the future. It was a great experience. And I guess having the shorter time, maybe it made us work faster. It made me work faster. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thanks, Lucy and Christine. It was fun, and I love what we came up with.
It was great. You're welcome. Awesome. Let's see. Okay, David and Ibuki.
Hi. Thanks again for doing this. We already discussed, I'm going to go first. Usually I go ladies first, but she said she wanted me to go first. So I'll go first. I just really love this, the process. This is my third time. And what I really like is you know, you especially when you don't know someone's work and what they really are about, and to get that first piece and to respond to that first piece, it feels, it opens up, like everything just opens up, because I don't know what I'm going to get. I'm so excited every single time something comes in. I sort of pre-plan, like I think maybe I'll do this, this, or this, and then I get the thing, and what I'll tend to do is focus on one thing. And with Ibuki, it's just the two of us have such a very similar aesthetic, I think, in a lot of ways, and we're also working in a very similar medium. And I knew that working with her, I wanted to really stick with video and performance, because we both have that in common. So I enjoyed that. And I'll take like either the way she titled it or one element that she used. Like the color red was a thing for me. Using the thread that she had, I thought that was so expressive and said so much. And then I got to explore, in the midst of this, I discovered on my iPad this app called Procreate, and some of you might have it. It's really cool. I didn't know that you can do animation with it. So
Oh, really?
now I'm lost in animation world because I love, I mean, they're like basic little animations, but it's really fun. And the thing like the thread gave me an opportunity to animate line and just, dance line around. So just that sort of being able to merge a performance aesthetic into a strictly visual thing, and then using the tools of animation and film and video and sound was really just, it felt very fluid. Like I felt like the two of us really we were on a roll. We were really flowing, I think. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, so hi, my name is Ibuki. I create paintings, media art, and performance. So this is 6th time to join this project. So this time was so much deep journey with David. So David creates animation, music, painting, performances, so he can create anything and also very cinematic. So every his response triggered me to create work. So we could go to inside of the mind deeply through each our body language. So this time was very short, but very enjoying this response time. So this time I tried to use a green screen or a background for shooting and they used some effects. So it was very interesting, the difference between regular shots and the changing background even in the same studio. So I could change a totally different location. So there are so much potential for creating video art, especially this quarantine time. So thank you, David. Thank you, Christine.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. No,
There
you're
were also I just wanted to say a couple of the way Ibuki shot a couple things really made me think I wanted to try that too, like the macro really close shots. I really love that. So that made me shoot a couple things really close. And it's interesting because every choice then blossoms into this new whole, this other, like what if I do a whole series on macro stuff, really close up stuff. So yeah, just, more triggers, more interesting places to go.
Yeah, I love the macro eyes, especially, you do Buto dance. So my Buto dance teacher said you should have insect eyes so you can like see the very details of the thing. So that's very important for performance. So yeah, I love the macro shot.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, you did, more than, every 24 hours too, I think. You had so much work there, but it was all deep and rich and beautiful. It was a great collaboration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. So also I want to say after this opening, I will have another group exhibition Zoom, which talks about the 5 human facets, like post-human, mid-human. So I will present the performance. So if you have time, please come visit. I will share the link. Thank you.
Oh, great. Thank you. Boy, you're
And I gotta run, you all. Thank you so much. I'm on another Zoom in like 5 minutes. So I might try to come back in here. So we'll see if you're still on.
Okay, cool. Have fun. In case you've come in before or since we started, if you want to talk, put your name in chat. I have a little list going of people who have said they want to talk. So Marta, you are up.
Okay, I really want to thank you so much, Christine. Because of you, I changed a lot of things in my art practice completely.
Wow.
Completely. And I'm so grateful. At the beginning, I was scared. I thought I will never be able to, 24 hours. This is impossible because my work picoté in 24 hours, I cannot do much. It takes weeks, months to do one picoté. So that was wonderful. But what I really like, many things I really like, I realized that deadline and having a very short amount of time, this really enhance your creativity. For example, at one time, I was very busy with some other project and I thought, okay, I have to answer because Carrie Smith was telling me what's going on, Bob, So I said, okay. So So what was amazing about the pressure of time is that all of a sudden, it's like automatic writing. I didn't think, I said, you are going to have to work with what you have. So I grabbed the mask, I grabbed this, and I put it together in 15 minutes. I was able to respond. That was amazing. Also, what I want to say is, okay, another thing also is, usually I work, my body, my face is not a canvas. And I work on paper. And the first image that Madeleine Arnaud sent me was a patchwork. And, and I said, oh, what am I going to do? I mean, patchwork what? So I said, okay, I use my face so I started to, paint my face, and it was so much fun. It's so freeing, because that's also another thing that I really liked, is that the way you said it, I think was very, very smart, because there's no limitation. It could be painting, it could be performance, it could be dance, it could be anything at all. And that is amazing, because it really helped to be creative and to experiment. So I felt, okay, I can use anything. I can use my skin. I can use, and that was very wonderful. Also, it helped because right now with the COVID and everything, sometimes I would compare time as a slimy ball of clay. It's like slimy, because before we knew that we had a weekend, we had a vacation, we had this and that, we could go. Now it's all like, it doesn't have any form, any shape, shapeless. So to know that you have to, I mean, you don't have to, because you can well say, okay, I'm not going to continue. But to know that you are paired with somebody else, you are responsible, and you really have to do something, because you cannot let the other person go. And so that really helped me. It was a wonderful experience. This is my second time. Also, I got to meet Carrie Smith, and we became friends, and she invited me to her house in Santa Barbara, and we had lunch together, and then we were going to, it's amazing. I mean, really, I cannot find, I have so many wonderful things that happen. The list is very long, but thank you so much for that. It's amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome. I saw that on Facebook that you went and visited her, and then I talked to her, and she's like, Marta was here for 4 hours, and we sat outside and had a great time.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's great. That's wonderful. Thank you, Christine.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Let's see. Anne, do you want to wait for Jeannie?
Yes, I would like to wait for her, but I'm going to have to run out and check on my kids. So, just let people go and let it go with the flow.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
Denise and Kayla.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Kayla, do you want to go first, Kayla?
Yeah, I guess I could go first. So I've actually done every single round so far since the beginning, except round 4, where I had the artist who I was paired with kind of disappear, which was unfortunate. But it's, I've said before at other receptions, it's really like, it's been something that's kept me alive, like having something to look forward to every day, like meeting new people. And Denise was actually the first person who I had a FaceTime conversation with. Like everybody else has been pretty exclusively email, and I only saw their face if they came to the reception. So that was really cool. We had like a little moment to chat and get to know each other, and like just talk about what we were doing with the work, and that was a really special moment for it. Because I recently moved back in with my mom in South Florida from LA, so I've been a little lonely and isolated and haven't seen anybody for a long time. So it was really nice to have that connection. And as far as the work goes, I feel like for this round, I feel like we were really communicating via our titles. We're both writers, and I know for me, the titles of my work are very important, and and I'm very responsive to the titles of other people's work, and I like the stories that come along with the visuals, especially in work that's very abstract or non-representational. I like kind of having that narrative element to it. So yeah, it was a really good experience overall. Very short, very. I felt the shortness of it. It was a little strange, but it was still good though. It was a good little pocket of time because I've had a lot of stuff going on, so it kind of worked out that it was a little shorter this time. So yeah, Denise.
Well, ditto everything that Kayla just said. And now you've all just heard from Kayla, so you get how I'm so totally excited and in love with this girl. This has just been one of the most joyful things I have ever done. And when I submitted my first piece to her and she responded both to my title and to the work, I knew that our connections went way beyond just art. And every time we traded a piece, that's how it felt. I couldn't wait to see what was coming back. I couldn't wait to respond. Something so bizarre happened to me. I have hated to have my picture taken my whole life. I actually submitted a photo of myself in the mirror to this girl. Just totally, it was just so random. It was so natural. It was so perfect. It was just, of course, this is what I have to send for this round. This is what has to happen. And everything that unfolded through this process just happened so perfectly. And at one point I created sort of an assemblage nest, and Kayla responded with a short video that I am still playing and playing and playing and playing. I'm so in love with this piece of work, I can't even stand myself. So it's been like that. And her first response to my first piece was digital art. And I couldn't wait to have a Zoom session with her just to talk about backstory, like what's going on here? Why did you choose to do that? What were you thinking when you do that? I like to get inside of people's heads. And I recognized her love of language right in the very beginning. So as an artist / poet, that connection with her was just very, very, very strong. And I felt as free. Marta said it very well. I felt completely freed up. I had thought about painting my whole naked body at one point and throwing it against a canvas and just submitting it. I felt that crazy, freaky free. It was, it was awesome. It was really, really, really inspiring, freeing, fun. I've been stuck. I'm raising 2 little grandchildren. I turn 67 tomorrow. This has been really rough. Online education, life has been overflowing. I'm president of a local art association. I've been trying to hold us all together through online, virtual everything. I've been doing tons of writing, but almost no art. I registered for this and I just thought, oh my goodness, have I missed art, and look what's going on for me right now. So it just felt like divine intervention. Thank you, Christine, for putting this together. Thank you for Shelley Scheikoff, one of our Quabbin Art Association members who did this a few rounds ago and sent me a link and said, I think you'd like this. And thank you to Kayla, who was so safe and perfect for me that I just feel I just had to come online to this reception to say thank you. I think this is the most special process ever for people. And you want to talk about getting yourself out of your own box. This is the way to do it. I might sign up again, even though the time limits were like crazy. I was doing some of this at outrageous times. I had one of my little grandsons with me for one of the pieces, and he was like on top of me and doing something else, and it was nuts. But I feel like I might dance and sing for one of these. That's how this feels for me. It's very joyful. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's so.
Yeah, exactly. Denise, please sign up for round 8. It would be great to participate again.
I can't do round 8 because of what's going on in my life right now. But I'm guessing you're going to keep doing this, Christine. And
Yeah.
so you're going to see me again.
Okay,
Because, and I wouldn't it be so, not that I would be opposed to meeting other people, but wouldn't it be incredible if Kayla was teamed with me again? Because digital art freaks me out. Digital anything freaks me out. And oh my gosh, how I admired her work. And I thought, I just have to really try some new things here. This is, it's all good. So you'll see me again.
good.
Thank you.
And you know, there's several artist pairs that just have continued on their own too. So something to keep in mind.
Well, you should hear about Kayla's workload. I can't, this girl is like me 30 or 40 years ago. And oh my gosh, does she have a lot going. So I'm not even going to put that on her, but I'm going to enjoy following her work on all the rest of your rounds because I'm her biggest fan now.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Denise.
Kayla.
Thank you, Christine. It's been
You're
wonderful. It really is every time.
Great.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Denise.
Thank you.
Let's see. So if, like I said, if you want to talk, put your name in chat. I have Karen, Maria, Valerie and Britta, Conchi, Bard, Lena and Emily, and Sky and Brenda. Let's see. So Karen, and I don't remember. Oh wait, Karen Francisco's here. So perfect. Karen and Francisco. Francisco, you're kind of being thrown in.
Hi, Francisco. I'd love for you to go first, if you would.
Oh, you're really being thrown in.
First of all, I have to unmute myself. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think CR7 was one of the most enjoyable rehearsals so far. I really enjoyed the pairing. I enjoyed working on the digital tool that I was working with. I think for this particular session, it was most of the work that I created was done in a new application, so it taught me a lot. And very quickly, Karen and I, we started working in a true collaboration in generating this design so she could use with origami, which is another one of my, I claim it as my heritage. My first wife was Japanese, my son is Japanese. So a lot of these themes, a lot of this is a cultural thing for me. So I really, really enjoyed it. And I continue to create more work along those lines. So thank you, Karen. That was very, very nice.
Well, thank you. I mean, I saw your work. It was so nice and geometric. And I had been playing with this idea of incorporating origami into my next show. Wasn't exactly sure how I was going to do it. Everything I do, I mean, I can trace it back to being a kid. So I did folded origami as a kid, and I did all. It always comes back as a theme, as something that I like to do, and it was really fun using your work to try to figure out how to create the geometric shapes necessary to have the design look like I wanted it to when the piece was folded. So it was really, they were just really joyful, colorful things to work with, and yeah, really, really inspiring. I had a lot of fun this time.
Yes, thank you. I think for me it was, I think we got midway through the color response when I finally figured out the right pattern that would create the best design for you, because the way that you were creating with geometric patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So the progression that you go through and aligning that, you did a great job with the first few images, but I had to change across to be able to somehow align patterns.
Yeah, I think you also seem to put a little bit more contrast into the pieces, and that made them work better with the paper I was using. I had some, playing with medium issues too. But I have so enjoyed all of these collaborations, every one I've been with, and there are 2 other collaborative projects I've been involved with as well. it sparks something new. It takes my work in another direction. It gets me thinking a different way. And it gets me out of places where I'm kind of stalled.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much, both of you. Let's see. All righty, Maria. Let's see, I don't really...
Hello, Christina. Yes, I don't see yet my partner, Delis Frank, and I hope she will be here, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you, first of all, as always, and it's very, I feel like how you say, how you said at the beginning of the meeting, Christine, that it's really to keep ourselves busy, because it's really not to get nuts here. And also I'm a newcomer here, so I went to the US just in January, and I really feel lonely, and right now I can feel that after 9 months. And with all this lockdown, and actually it's not so easy just to sit and do something, to create something, and these obligations in good meaning, you know, it's really very helpful. And also of course I agree with everyone that it helps to explore your own style and to be more creative. Deadline, and I need to do at least something what I have got right here. It's really helpful because it helps to go out of the box, as Denise said, and it's really beautiful. And I also experienced that this supporting community, that I don't feel any jealousy from anyone. You know, there is no that feeling of competition. People really admire and appreciate each other's talents and artworks, and it's so beautiful for me, and it's some really new experience. Thank you so much, Christine, and it was my 4th time, and I'm going to continue. Thank you so much.
Yay.
And guys, I want to hug all of you.
Virtual.
Yes, virtually I'm here.
Yes. Thank you, Maria. Before I forget, also, and Ashley and Darren, I got you, so no problem. Let's see. And I think, yes, let me make sure I have that down. If also, if you guys want to put like your Instagram handle in chat, that way everybody can follow each other on Instagram, you know, and I mean, you know, continuing building our community. So you definitely do that. Or, you know, if you want to put your website or Facebook or whatever, but Instagram's always good. And thank you, Conchi. Let's see. And let's see, who do we have? Valerie and Britta.
I'm here. Valerie here?
Oh, she was.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. So, well, Britta and I started, we actually had a telephone conversation.
We did.
How amazing is that, you know? And we kind of shared like what we were, you know, our own situation in the world right now. And we discovered that we actually had a lot in common in terms of our, you know, our living spaces. And Britta was staying in her mom's house, and I guess a music tour had gotten canceled, and then I had just moved into a new live work space, and you know, stuff had been in storage for a couple of years, and it was total chaos. And what was going on around us, we couldn't go outside. Remember the raging wildfires, and the smoke was so thick. It was like, I didn't realize for a while, it wasn't overcast. I mean, through the clouds, it was because of the smoke. Wow. So anyway, I'll just read something that I wrote, kind of summarizing. We began this conversation, you know, the smoke being very heavy, and that I'd been thinking about this idea of forest bathing. I love this, you know, I mean, basically we know what it is. It's like, you know, when we go out into nature and it really affects our psyche and our mood and our physiology. Okay, so we couldn't go out for a walk in the forest. It was not an option. So so the starting point was to use our imagination and imagine a place or a forest that we could actually create with our work. And so I just really found that so exciting, and this dialogue that we had, where I feel like we created a kind of inner forest space. So it was so satisfying. Thank you.
Thank you. It really was. Yeah, this is my 4th round of call and response, and I had taken a break because I did my first Kickstarter, which was a great experience. But by the time this started, Valerie, I was exhausted. I was, I've not been the best at building my career, and so I was happy I was focusing, but I was sort of just a little bit like, oh gosh, what do we do now? And so what this ended up being, you brought up this idea of forest bathing, and for some reason I just thought back to my childhood. I think it was Karen that was talking about origami. I thought back to what I did as a kid, and I was always putting crazy things together to try to make a tableau out of it. Like I had all these blankets and I'd make them into curtains and make puppet shows, but then there'd be tons of it would be like almost sculpture with my, I was thinking, what would I do if I were a kid in this situation? And so I searched my memory banks, and one of my favorite moments in the forest was 2 years ago. I helped a friend move to Portland from Los Angeles in November, a week before Thanksgiving. And so we found these stands of ridiculous autumn trees on the border between California and Oregon that were so special. And especially because a lot of that was on fire at the time. There was both kind of a painful element, but a really sort of magical element of memory. And in my already crowded room, like you said, I'm in my mom's house and wasn't anticipating being here. I was anticipating having my stuff here and me being gone almost all year. So Kayla, I feel you. But there was this random clothing rack in a box. My father passed away a couple of years ago. I asked my mom, why did you guys have this clothing rack sitting in the room I'm living in now? She said, I have no idea why we had that. So I just built it and reframed my whole space. And I left this up for you guys because this is kind of what I built. And it almost feels like a quilt to me. But it's been a very satisfying experience. And those origami butterflies, by the way, Karen, I heard that. Origami butterflies, I used to live at the brewery next door to Christine. And I miss you, Christine. I miss the brewery. And those are repurposed origami butterfly garlands from my studio.
Oh, cool.
That I've had sitting in a bag this whole time. So I felt like a little bit returned to my studio. This was very relaxing and it was very playful. And Valerie, I cannot thank you enough. I wish this could stay up longer, but it is kind of taking up my space. And we don't, after being in a 900 square foot apartment and then a studio space, to move into a bedroom is fascinating. You know. So, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you both so much. Kachi.
Hi.
Hello.
Dropped it. Adrian Cole was my my partner this time around. I've done it, I think, 5 or 6 times now, and I really enjoy it every single time. I can't even tell you how much inspiration is coming out of this. And I'm also being forced to work small because I usually work big and working bigger and bigger all the time. But I have, from one of the previous call and responses, I made some smaller sculptures, and I'm actually using what I learned making those smaller sculptures to make much bigger ones for San Pedro. So, and that's in my backyard that I'm in a video and send to the opening, basically. But it's been very enlightening. I made a few notes. But like I said, I've done this 5 or 6 times. It's great to meet people that I probably would never have ever met. Sometimes I'll walk up to people at openings, but for the most part, I don't really do that. I usually kind of look around and look for somebody I know, and then I get introduced to somebody else. But this is like expanding all of our networks so much. I love collaborating, new inspiration, you get new ideas out of it, and it gets better every time. I also started writing poetry again. I haven't written poetry, mostly prose. I haven't written in over 20 years, and probably since high school. And I'm 48 now. And so that's a long time. Really dated myself there. So, but I love it to be able to work in other mediums also. That's one thing, like every single one of my images this time around was a completely different medium than the one before. And so I started with a photograph, and I was actually looking at when I went to do, excuse me, the folder and looking at the submissions, I had been looking at everything on my phone, and I looked at everything on a computer, and I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. And it was one of my pieces. And I was like, I could totally turn that into something, because it looks like, there's just these weird aspects of it. The close, the far, how certain things kind of like pull in and push out at the same time. But it was really, really cool to be able to do that. So I won't be able to do the next one, but probably the one after that. If you have it, that would be great, because it really gets the juices flowing and keeps me in my studio.
Awesome. Did you know Adrienne before this, or had you ever met her before?
No.
Okay.
None of the people that I had been paired with, I didn't know any of them. And then I felt like somewhere in there we bonded, and like with Lena also, I was partnered with Lena, and then every single time I feel like I've just, like we're kindred spirits somehow. It's very interesting how that works out. But in a way, we all are, because we're all artists, We all have that little flame that somebody along our path has stoked and thrown gasoline into to make it, this beautiful orange and red flame that goes on within us all.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, Christine.
You're welcome. And the only reason I asked is she went to Claremont, and so she spent a lot of time out in your part of town with people out there. So
she mentioned that, and because we had a conversation about it, and then I had never actually met her face to face. So it's kind of cool, meeting new people.
Yeah, definitely. Well, maybe when, we're all able to meet in person again, we can have a big call and response reunion or something.
That would be great. Bring your favorite piece, right?
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty. Thank you so much, Conchi. Let's see. Bard.
Hi. I haven't heard if Andrea is coming, but I wanted to say thank you again. I had a great time. It was my second time, and it was, I've heard other people say it, but it was crazy how different it was, different experience. So Andrea wanted to go first, and she kind of led what we did, and it was really interesting because she works with like packaging materials. So she kind of just puts them under a sewing machine and kind of explores with that. So I do a lot of mixed media. So I'm kind of making random things into other, images, but it was really interesting to focus on the package materials like bubble wrap, just any packing materials. So that was really interesting to focus on the materials a lot more than I usually do. It was also very different. It was probably good, like someone said, that it was shorter. We were both pretty busy, but it's crazy. The best thing about this time was the connection. She actually had an art performance that I got to be part of on Zoom, where she had made this sound thing. It was called Chaos, Calm and Chaos. So basically we all made our art at the same time, and it was for a certain group, but it was crazy to be part of a whole nother kind of art performance during it. So that was a really nice connection. But yeah, it was a great experience again, and yeah, very different. I also wanted to say, it's just funny because I'm from Nevada, but I'm in Massachusetts now, so it's kind of nice to connect to a lot of people in California again, West Coast, hear what's going on, and just it's been a while, so that was kind of nice for me to hear about the West Coast.
Oh, awesome. The fires, you mean?
Yeah, nice, not nice, but
well, thank you so much. Let's see. Alrighty, Lena and Emily.
Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
Oh, go ahead. It took me a minute to unmute anyway, so.
Well, so Emily actually was the one that started our collaboration, and it was very exciting for me to be paired up with her. The very first piece was a sculpture that she made using palm leaves, and it was just this very interesting silver structure, painted silver. So I started thinking what it reminded me of, and I used to make ceramics with little faucets, and there was one piece of the sculpture that kind of looked like a little faucet. So I took that and some of the other pieces that were part of this collaboration, I put little pipes to kind of represent that. And so it was interesting. It also reminded me of, for some reason, of the palm leaves. It reminded me of traditions, like traditional Jewish holidays, and maybe, I don't know, maybe I was just reading that into that, but I kind of took that with the title of my first piece. I kind of related it to that. And I also really enjoyed the titles, Emily, that you had. I also thought they had a connection with our titles because both works are abstract, and both of us are kind of abstract artists. So it's interesting to play around with titles and kind of communicate through that. And I just felt a connection, and I really liked, I want to mention that I like the black and white pieces that you did that kind of encouraged me to work more in black and white, and I really enjoyed that part. So it's basically a discovery of something new every time I participate in these, and this is also my probably 6th or 5th time, and every time is an incredible journey. So Emily, thank you so much for being my partner this time, and Christine, thank you so much for facilitating yet another amazing round.
You're welcome.
Yes, Lena, you're welcome. And I echo everything that you had to say. It was always challenging, and it was grounding. It was cathartic. It was a nice creative exercise. I find that a lot of times I tend to work slow and thoughtful, and this process made me have to work instinctively. So you got to see a lot of that side of things, and I like being pushed out of my comfort zone. That was really good. I've been a fan of Lena's work for a long time, and I get very lost in the richness of her textures. They feel like they're kind of imbued with your spirit, and I really enjoyed that, and it carried on from piece to piece. It was, I thought that it was a really good pairing, Christine. And thank you very much for constantly doing this. I know it's a lot of extra work for you, But we all appreciate it. It really adds a great deal to all of our lives and our practices.
And that's why I continue to do it.
Yay.
Yeah. Well, you're very welcome. And thank you, both of you also. Cool. Let's see, Sky and Brenda.
Okay. Brenda, you want to go first?
I think you're muted, Brenda.
Yeah.
No, Sky, why don't you go first?
Okay, it's great to see you face to face. Hi, Brenda.
Hi.
My name is Sky, and I'm an avant-garde multimedia performance artist and, you know, visual artist on the side. This is my second time doing the call and response. I was also in round 3, which was very intense and exciting. So I had just ordered a whole bunch of canvases because I haven't left the house in 7 months. And I'm, you know, just completely switching modes from creating work for the stage and avant-garde. I'm a writer and also a filmmaker. You know, I just do everything in the arts. And over the past 20 years, being a visual artist has been like my side gig. And I had ordered all these canvases just thinking, well, if I have canvases around me, blank canvases, I will paint more. And about 10 minutes to 4, I saw the call for at 4 o'clock, it's ending, you know, for round 7. So I thought, well, I've got all these canvases, I might as well do round 7. So I've filled some of those, and it's been interesting. This was very different because Brenda works in, at least this round has worked in a way that was videos and MP4s that she would send me on YouTube. So I was very excited to be paired with her because I think no matter who we get paired with, because we're all artists, we're so connected, you know, and it's going to work no matter what. So I had looked her up and saw some interesting imagery of her laying naked and big piles of books. And I thought, well, that's my lady. There you go. Because I do a lot of performance art naked, and I've also modeled a lot, you know, so I thought, well, she's uninhibited. This is going to be really fun. And I use this as a real discipline tool to force myself to stay with the visual art, because we could do anything. I could write a poem, I could make a video, I could take a picture, but my wife said to me, nope, you know, this is for your visual art. Just use this time to keep creating your body of work. And I'm really excited, especially that I'm creating more now prolifically, because in August, I started my online Facebook store and my presence on Facebook and Instagram as my store, Cosmic Alien Art. And so I feel like this is just goes completely in line with that. My life right now is about creating visual works that stimulate people and bring color and joy into people's lives, because it's such a hard time for all of us right now. And I know that when people look at my work, they smile and it's zany and out there. So her video stuff was really interesting. She has music, she's manipulating imagery. And the first piece that came to me, I just thought, oh my gosh, what is this? Like, how am I going to respond to this and stay within the medium of just painting when she's now added the audio visual layer and it's, you know, much more complicated. And then it just flows. And I've enjoyed this round using different, each night saying, okay, well, I'm just going to take my favorite moment of that 40-second video or 12-second video and pause it, and I'll work from that, or the theme the next time, or just the feelings that stirred in me from watching her piece. So I was really giving myself alternate exercises of how can I work from this differently tonight, and how, you know, what approach should I take this way. So, you know, I just think it's a really great thing. I love being connected to such a huge body of artists around the planet and feeling like I'm not alone. And you know, I also decided that I'm going to work small because it's a lot more doable. I can do an 8x10 in a couple of hours and pump it out. And also what was different for me this round was I paint with fluorescent glow-in-the-dark paints. And in the past, I only showed my, you know, the original lighting. But with this one, I would show her, and this is what it looks like under black light. And so some of the pieces, she responded from the black light and manipulated it, and others from the regular. So when we were coming around to, you know, should we give both versions or one version of the other, I thought, well, this is a great opportunity to show my study in light and how my paintings pop and change when you change the lighting situation. So we included all, you know, both versions of them. So I have a 2 and a 2.5 and a 4 and a 4.5. And that for me is just really personally gratifying to be able to see my work up next to Brenda's and to see what, you know, the motion that it became. Just really, I'm humbled and I'm honored to be part of this. And it, as everybody has reiterated, it's a great thing to give us this opportunity because it really pushes us to be in the moment and to use the time that we have to make art, you know, no excuses. So thank you, Christine, and thank you to the community. Brenda, it's all you. Thank you.
Well, it's funny because I went and looked you up and I saw that you were a performance artist. So I was thinking, oh, I'm going to suck her into performing. And you were very resolved to stick to that canvas. And so I just went, oh, fine, I'll fall into this alien business. So no, it was a lot of fun. And I like the way it kind of brings up the chameleon in me. Like, you know, like I'll go anywhere. Just, you know, take me there. And it was a lot of fun. And I mean, I'm really, I wouldn't say that I struggle with this video thing, but I'm just finding my voice with it. And basically everything I do is an experiment. And that's kind of the way I've approached this whole event is that it's an opportunity for me to play with a direction because I think on my own, I don't have that direction, especially with a new medium. So having a seed, whether it's somebody else's art or an idea, is helpful because it makes me try new things. And
I love to watch what you've been doing, Brenda. You know, every round it's like you are experimenting and playing, and that's what we do as artists until we find our voice. And even then, we still continue to experiment and play. You know, I hope we do that the rest of our lives.
Well, it does feel really good to do it.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful feeling to be able to just play. And when it gets so serious, you know, that you have to put out a masterpiece every time, it's stifling. And, you know, like right now I'm stifled in my studio, but I know that on my phone and in this community, I can just go haywire and, you know, and some great things have come out. You know, when you mentioned that someone asked if work has sold, but I was going to say I entered one of my pieces that I did with Ibuki into a show. I don't know if it'll get in, but you know, it was like, hey, I can enter this show because it's all about phone art. That's what I've been.
One other thing I just wanted to add is, you know, in the past, you know, for these 20 years that I've been painting aliens, my art has always come when I had time or when I was bored or when it would come in spurts. And so when I did the first round that I participated in, I was really mad that we only had a day to get back to the other person. I was like, how can I create an amazing piece of art in one day? And what I realized through the process and the journey is that it doesn't matter what you do as long as you're making it. And like Brenda says, to be finished with something and to produce in such a fast way, you know, it's like you don't pay attention to the perfectionism anymore, but the process takes over, and that's what becomes important. You're just doing it, and then before you know it, you have this studio full of work, and it feels so amazing. And now it's like, what's the next step? How to keep getting the work out there for others to, you know, enjoy and to connect with and buy and make money doing this. So thanks again.
You're welcome. Thank you. Yours was such a fun
You're
collaboration.
like the mom giving us all the push. You're the mom that gives us all the push, like the mother of art. Like, okay, go children, now create. You got this much time. Let's see what you got. And it's just great to have somebody like that, you know, as the grounding force now in this aspect of our lives. So, Mama Schumacher.
And it's funny, I never wanted kids.
Well, now you have like hundreds of them.
I know, exactly. Thank you. Let's see, Marta. I don't know if Maureen is on.
I just sent her the Zoom link. I'm hoping, so maybe others can talk and come back to me. Hopefully she'll be able to join. Be great if she can.
Yeah, yeah. I think Ashley, let's see, Ashley, I don't know if Darren's on though, but did you want to go ahead and talk?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
All right. So, well, when I first started the collab with Darren, I was so nervous. I turned in a little handmade, watercolored postcard size piece. It was experimentative, amateur, and it just sucked. Okay. Darren responded in 24 hours with one of his digital artistry works that just blew me away. It was so symmetrical and geometric, and I was like, there's no way. I think I literally said, okay, how is this gonna work out? And then I told myself, it's okay, Ashley, he's a teacher, just be cool, you know, he's not gonna just shatter your work. He's a cool guy, he's a teacher. So I tried a couple more watercolors and I could not keep up. My measly artwork was just not starting, and it was starting to make me feel bad. So I had to try something that can match his level of work. And then it registered, it hit. For my senior art show at Cal State University, Dominguez Hills, I chose to make 3D digital designs of people's bedrooms and kitchens. And I was working at Home Depot at the time, and I just felt really deeply in love with interior design. I was like, this is it, this is what I want to do. And my peers and my teachers were so impressed. They could not believe I pulled off my own senior show, as my paintings were all very beginner, novice, and I just did not match up to some of the other students' level of, you know, the hyper-realism style of paint. So anyway, interior design is just something that I want to keep up with. And as I promised my peers and mentors, because livable art for me is a dream that I'm always running after and chasing. And the thrill is just the best. To be able to physically move objects and decorate, to make an interactive art is just the best form of art for me. So he reminded me of what I was really good at, and that's digital interior designs. And it worked perfect. It just hit, it just matched, lined up perfectly, because they were both the same medium now. They were both digital artwork versus, you know, something like totally opposite spectrums. They were both, you know, easy JPEG file, you know, so it just made more sense. So I had a blast. I had so much fun. I really did.
Did you like play off of his work as far as like compositionally or anything like that?
So his was like very, very like not really abstract. Like it was just shapes and colors and kind of, I like, it took me like, I would stare at them for a long time and I'm like, what is he trying to do? I would study the color palette, and one of them kind of reminded me of like a Medusa head. So I was like, okay, what kind of reminds me of Medusa? And I was thinking snakes or an alligator. And I was like, oh, I always wanted to draw a koi fish so I could hang up a lucky symbol of a koi fish. So yeah, I tried to really respond to it, because last time it was my first time on Collaboration 6. So I didn't really, I just did my own thing, and I, just kind of went my own way, but it worked. This time though, I really tried to practice the jazz and, and like really try to interpret these. And it was kind of funny because there's no real meaning, it's just like, just painting the shapes, but I'm really trying to, what was he trying to say? So it was fun. I liked it.
That's awesome that you had that shift,
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I look forward to see what you do next, with that, where it's going to carry you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Can't
Thank
wait to
you.
Thanks.
Let's see. So, does anybody else, nobody else is on the list. Does anybody else want to talk? I don't want to put you on the spot if you haven't. Joanne.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Well, Christine, this is awesome. This whole thing you've got going here. It's my first time participating. And my friend Arpad Petros, he was the one that recommended it, and he's done it several times now.
Yeah.
So, and then I sent email, Facebook kind of post about it, and a few other people I'm friends with also participated, Susanna and Lila.
Cool.
So it's been neat on the side to share, what we're doing as we're doing it. And I had Elena from Germany, Frankfurt, Germany. I'm in California. She's in Germany. And so that was like an exciting, when you sent me the first invitation as to, who your partner is going to be. I'm like, oh, wow, this is kind of cool. What time of day is it over there, kind of thing. How are we going to communicate? But and also the email was a little awkward there were spelling mistakes in the email. So I was hoping I would get it right when I contacted her, but she got right on top of it and got back with me, and it was awesome. She's a beekeeper in Germany, and she's also an artist, and all of her art was around her cooperation with her hive and working with bees, and just real fun kind of pieces of work with using the bee constructed boxes and actually using honeycomb while the bees are making it to make a portrait of herself. Like pollen and real kind of fun things, and just her concept too of the cooperating and just saving the bees, the whole thing right now is so a hot topic,
Yeah.
So and I was so glad not to be number one, to be honest with you, because I've worked it more like commercially with my art, and so it's been I've been dragging. I didn't, after my dad died, I sort of lost my inspiration to do artwork on my own. And so it's been several years of that. And so the only time I do artwork lately is when somebody asks me to do something. It's kind of I do the bare minimum, and it's like, okay, I better do this kind of thing. So to have my own inspiration to do creative stuff has been lacking. And this really got me going again. And so Elena sent her first piece, which was a tune, like a wave file of music, just some chords. And when I listened to it, it reminded me of the way a bee flies from flower to flower. It was do 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 do. It was very kind of repetitive and melodic and simple, very simple. It reminded me of something you'd learn on the piano as a kid, simple tune. And so I just was like, because the bee thing is kind of fun. And the cool thing about this is you get to learn about people. It kind of made me remember my sister's got a bee club that she's involved with, and we conversed about that. And then I had done a logo for my sister's beehive jars for her honey, and I sent that to her to show her, oh, I've done this before. It's neat to get that conversation going. And so, I was kind of like trying animation. I've done it once, like on Photoshop a few years ago. So I spent a lot of time trying to re-figure out how to do that because you forget how to use the programs. But I started with a little animation of a bee coming in the shot, you know, and then going to the flowers. And then like the next scene, I started to kind of figure it out, but I was like, it took so much time to figure out how to animate that I stopped there. And then it was the next day and she sent her response and was a poem, which was the lyrics that were going to be coming with the next piece of music. And she sent me a little bit of the music, but not the whole file because she couldn't figure out how to send the whole thing. So I only had like 4 words and a little bit of the tune. And then I was like, oh, okay. And I took it a total different direction. I was like, well, how can I animate her words? Like, because I thought of it as a poem. How do you make the letters? I wanted to learn how to make the letters right across like they're writing. And then I picked up some bee images off the internet and behind it and just played with that. And just, it was a very learning experience on how to, you know, but it was fun to have this as the impetus. And then she responded to that. Well, I liked your animation, the cute little drawing style before, but she sent back, she took my video and I called it like a lyric music video, but she took it and she did this like so fast. She took it into this U-Cut, I think it's called. It's on a phone. She did everything on the phone and like totally took it and made it this awesome video, like something you'd see a professional do for a nightclub kind of thing in the background, like all jazzy and just great. She took my like snippets of my images and she said she used the glitch that was part of this U-Cut app that you can have. And it just added all this real fun effects and colors and I was blown away. And I'm like, the kids, they can do so much. It took me forever to like make this like tiny little animation and she's got the full video. And I'm like, okay. So then I went back to, since she said she liked the animation, I did too. I wanted to explore that a little more. So she sent me back more music and the full, well, no, she had already sent me the full thing. So I just had to insert that track and then kind of develop the whole story of the piece. So I kind of, it got me to work faster and get into it, and it was fun. And then later she sent like bee sounds from her hive, and because she recorded them. So I'm like, I wanted, but she recorded it like into the video. She'd already kind of like, I don't know how she did it, if she just was doing it, recording it while she was on her phone with it or something. So I couldn't separate it out. So I figured, oh, I can find some bee sounds online, and I was able to do that and add them into my tracks. And there's lots of different kinds, so it kind of became the character of the what do you call it, the bee. You know, I found one that sounds like a single bee, bzz, and then another that sounds like a hive. And so I went back into that first video and the animation and added it. Kind of, it was fun to play with fading it in, fading it out, adding her music. And then by the end, I developed it into like, she had already made like a edited, she had made like the little page in her one video she sent me that was cool. I'm like, oh yeah, I should do that. I gotta like have the intro, you know, the black screen fade in with the title and credits, and then at the end you have your ending credits, and then fading in and out the sounds. It really was awesome to play with that and just realize I did this in 4 days, you know, and I have this finished video, this animation. So, and then her final piece was kind of cool. She showed a how-to of how she's recording the bees and her hands by the hole or the beehive. It was like, oh God. But that was neat that she shared like more of a research kind of video, you know. So I'm looking forward to hopefully doing some more stuff with Elena. And I don't think she's on right now, probably because of the time zone and everything, but that's okay. It was awesome. So thank you, Christine, for allowing me this opportunity to rediscover my creativity and share it with someone. Because like other people said, it's hard to do it on your own, to get motivated. And like, so having Elena as my partner was awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, it was a great collaboration too.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Let's see, Marta, I saw Maureen's on. Do you guys want to talk? Maureen, I'm throwing you in.
Hi, Maureen.
If she is muted.
Okay.
Oh, there she goes.
I unmuted. So, okay.
Want to talk first?
Talk about your experience collaborating, you know, how it went, things like that.
You want to go first?
Okay, sure.
Since you went first on the the rounds.
Well, nice to meet you, Maureen, even though it's a beautiful photo.
No, I'll find the other one. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so this was my third time doing this, and first I want to say thank you, Christine, for all the work put in to offer this opportunity to all of us for the past several months and ongoing. So it's really a wonderful opportunity, and congratulations to all the artists. It's really exciting to see everybody's collaborations. So this was the third one. And Marina and I, we don't know each other. I haven't known anybody that I've been paired with, so it's been odd sending your work to someone you've never talked to. You just an email, and that's it. But yeah, I really enjoy this collaboration. I think because we do photography, so every one of both of our responses were photographs, and since that's primarily what I work in, I really appreciate that. And it was fun. We took elements. Some things don't look like they relate when you look at them laid out, but both of us took one thread, one element from the other person's photo and played off of that. So yeah, felt more relaxed this time. And Marina, I enjoyed collaborating with you.
Yeah, likewise. It was pretty neat just to, yes, not knowing, discussing or anything, and just finding an image and see what, you know, connected in my brain, whether it was the abstraction or the color, or I kind of liked you were doing more botanicals, and then I started doing similar shapes or patterns, but they were more engineered or manufactured. So that was kind of fun. And it was also nice each day either sending or receiving something. It was like, you know, getting a present. So I felt a real kind of synergy, what was coming back and forth. So it was fun for my first experience. So thank you.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
Yeah, enjoyed working.
Awesome. Thank you both so much. I hope you're gonna, you know, sign up for the next round too, if you can.
Yeah, well, next round, or if there's a round after that, I'll see.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Adiola, I saw you're unmuted. Did you want to talk?
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So this is my eighth round. Yeah, I've been in every one of them. And this is, even though it's the shortest one, is actually the shortest for me because it started out as great. So I kind of have a mixed feeling with this round because my partner, I don't see him. I was waiting to see if he'll show up. We started out because it was the only one that actually communicated with where we spoke on the phone, because when I first sent my stuff, I didn't hear from him. And I'm like, did he get it? Maybe he didn't get it, maybe because it went to his junk email. So I called and we had a good chat on the phone. We talked for a long time. And because he's local, so I was really so happy that I got someone close, that's closer to me in this like next city over. Everyone I've had is far away. So and we've been in an exhibition together that we didn't even know. So anyway, we started out and everything was going fine. And then we got towards the end, he kind of fell off. I don't know what happened to him because we didn't quite get to the end. I sent him the video and then he just responded with the email because he said that was about the Breonna Taylor at the time when they came back with the indictment of, not indicting the police officer. And he said it was peace and that was it. So it made it real short for me, but it was still very enjoyable. So I had this picture because I was looking forward to us doing more and finishing. So I hope he's okay and everything is fine on his hand. But one of the things that I really got out of it, it had me think a lot, because his work is totally different. He does a lot of different things. And when he responds to my video, I have to really think, how am I going to respond back to these? Because sometimes it's just text, and I have to look real deep and look, maybe pick one word from it, or pick up some things, you know, to pull through, because it was so it challenged me in a way. Like all the other ones, it's easy for me to roll in and move things along. But this one, I have to look at it and keep staring at it and keep going back. I'm like, okay, how do I approach this? How do I respond to this? And I don't know. I mean, it's just plain text of 1 or 2 lines, or maybe not even a complete sentence that I would get. And that would really get me like, how do I respond to this? And then I'll pick a word and try to use that to do my next video. And I kind of went back one of the time that I responded, because I had told him at the beginning that I wanted to be fluid, knowing that what's going on currently in you know, that if something happens, I want to react to that rather than just respond to what is. So, and there were a couple of those things when we lost RGB, and then also with the Breonna Taylor. So I figured I had something else planned, but then I had to shift gear and let it be more of that. But one of them was interesting when he had, I think the comment was, will there be tomorrow, something like that. It kind of followed the one that, because that was the day that the Supreme Justice Ruth died. So it was easy for me to use that something was in his response for me to then use and collaborated with my feeling and me expressing how I feel towards the passing of Ruth. So thank you. So it was real, you know, it flows well, and when he actually responded back to me about the Breonna Taylor one, how he was feeling, he was emotionally, that we said, you know, I'm really pissed and stuff, and I was looking forward to receiving something back, and I never did. So I don't know. So in a way, it was great. I enjoyed talking to him. You know, I was looking forward to it, but being the shortest one, it was also the most challenging of all the 8 rounds that I've done. I'm looking, no, 7. Okay, I'm like,
it feels like 8.
To the 8. So, which I'm looking forward to that. But it was an interesting round for me this time. So.
Each one it always gets you thinking differently, doesn't it?
Yes.
It just like shifts your brain and stuff. That's
yes,
for sure.
Indeed. You know, and like I said, sometimes it's better for us not to. At least I felt, well, it's great because it didn't make it easy for me. It just makes me have to think deep. Like in the past, I'm like, oh yeah, I know what to do, and right away, you know, it's obvious. Even with the title, forget the title. I set out with a title with him, and he wasn't titled his stuff. He just sent me, you know, that line. I'm like, okay, but it was not just it was more of a graffiti style of the old English print, so which is artistic in its form, but I couldn't respond that way, so I had to look at what it's saying in terms of the comments of what the old English type text is saying to respond that way, because that's not my style of painting or doing things. So it really got me thinking a lot, and like, okay, how? And something I said to me at the beginning when I sent in my first video after we spoke, I said, you know, I really like your video. I kept looking at it. It says, you know, there's so many ways I could go with that video and stuff like that. Like, you know, it says I'm stuck on that radish. You know, when I saw the radish and stuff, you know, I'm stuck on that, and I might go with that. So I was expecting him to come to me with something, but it went totally a different direction. And that was great. And then I said, okay, maybe that's what I need to do too. So when I got his first response back to mine, because I started it, then I look at it where he had said something about Disneyland, and then there was a portrait, and then I said, well, I'm going to own in on the Disney part of it, and then try to do something, a video that relates to that. And so I had a lot of toys of my kids that I saved for my grand nephew when he visits and stuff. And some of them were the video, they were the Disney characters and things like that. So I was able to incorporate that in responding, and that's the way I had to deal with looking at what it sends me. So it was challenging. So I like it. I like it that way because it's telling me, you know, you got to think outside of the box before you look inside of the box, something like that.
Very true. I like that. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Would anybody else like to talk?
Could I follow Adiola?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. I've been trying to figure out how to find feeling in my work rather than just painting pretty pictures. And I was teamed up with Rhiannon, she's from Niagara Falls, and her work online was very whimsical. She even has a website that I think has whimsical in the title. And I thought, oh, this is going to be fun. I'll enjoy working with her. And the first couple images were great. Well, my second image, I think it was, I was sitting at the table painting it when my partner came in and said that Ruth Bader Ginsburg had died. And it stopped me in my tracks. I couldn't move forward. And I just put on the painting what I was feeling in the moment, like you, Adiola. And so I stayed in that dark place for a few days. And I finally said to her, I said, if you want to pull me out of this, I'd love it if you sent something a little more fun. And she did, she changed it up. And, but it kind of was a message to me that working from inside, it may not be the best thing for me to do because it stopped me completely. It was a tough one. So I'm glad it was short. And yeah, that's me.
But did you create other work in that 4 or 5 days or not? Or
no, I did. We finished. Yeah, we finished. And but we did she pulled me out of it with just a piece of artwork. I think it was digital of all her writing utensils.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I just did wire figures of those, and that was that.
You know something though, like I've noticed through call and response and through other things, I mean, sometimes our art needs the emotion and sometimes it doesn't, Sometimes just like you had to do, you had to do something about it in your art. And, it doesn't mean that it's good or bad or anything, but, that's why they have art therapy, to get through things like that. So, I mean, and sometimes and this is like, I feel my therapist channeling my therapist or something. Sometimes when it's hard, when it's the hardest, that's when we're being challenged the most. And that's what we need to to open us up somehow, if that makes sense. That's not what a therapist would say, but you get the idea.
It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. I started painting in process painting, so yeah. I know what you're saying. It's still hard to kind of.
Definitely.
Thank you, Christine. This is a great experience, and I'm appreciative. Thank you.
Oh, good. You're welcome. You're welcome. Anybody else? Yeah, Susan.
Hi.
Hello.
This was my first time doing the call and response.
Yay.
And so, I didn't know what to expect exactly. I have done some collaborative work, but but anyway, and I was paired with Molly Peters, who's not here today. And she is, I guess, a black and white photographer, mostly. And so we didn't talk at all about what we were doing, which, like some other people said, kind of caught me by surprise at first. But then I thought, well, you know, we'll just go with the flow. So in my own work, I've been doing paintings of flowers in my yard. And I lived in downtown LA, had a studio there for, well, basically I didn't have a yard for 20 years. So I just moved to Albuquerque a few years ago, and I have a tiny house with a tiny yard, but it's big enough to grow tomatoes and chilies and stuff, some big sunflowers and flowers that I've really been enjoying. So I just decided to, when her photography, her responses were mostly black and white photography and kind of architectural or architectural garden kind of photography, which I found, it was very formal. So I just decided to use it as a further exploration of my backyard, which is not the only place I can go right now anyway, and I'm lucky to have it. And just, you know, try to work with elements in her photographs and structural elements, mostly compositional elements, and try to find something similar in my yard by taking a different angle. But at the same time, I tried a lot to get sky in it because they felt kind of close to me, and also because we have beautiful sky here. So I incorporated like organic arches and vines and stuff through as a viewing window kind of to the sky. So so I ended up enjoying it and finding it okay, you know. I thought when we put everything together, it looked pretty good as pairings. It's very formal. So,
you know, every single collaboration is different. Some of them are more formal, some are more conceptual, some are, and that's what's really cool about it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do it this time again, because I did discover one thing is that I am painting my own work, my flowers, every day. And so it was kind of okay that it didn't take a lot of time.
Yeah.
So, but I am going to do it again. I'll probably do it this time and see what, you know, it's good. It's I mean, I don't know about you guys, but my life is so routine right now. Every day is kind of the same pattern, because I'm, you know, 68 and kind of high risk. So I just sort of stay at home a lot. So it is a kind of opening up in your life, I think, to another person besides my daughter and my son. So yeah, thank you, Christine.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I hope you do continue to sign up and participate. And also, I was just thinking, I don't know if you know Susan Kurland. She's a fiber artist in LA.
I know that name, don't I?
Yeah, you probably.
She's the name a lot. It's Kurland. Yeah, I've seen that name a lot.
She's moving to Albuquerque. Like,
oh, cool.
In the next couple of days. I'll send a Facebook message to both of you introducing you.
That's nice. That's nice. Some people have moved to, well, I don't want to take up everybody's time, but some people I know have moved to Santa Fe. But I don't have a great car, and actually it's icy. It's a lot colder and icier up there, so I haven't felt like I could drive up there. That's so it's not the same. It would be wonderful to have somebody in Albuquerque.
And I know she'd appreciate it too. Somebody from LA that you know, definitely. Her family's there, but nobody in, you know, that she knows in art. So, yeah.
Well, Misty's, my daughter's been here for 20 years and she's been married for quite a while. So, you know, she has a lot of friends and stuff, but they're all 30 or 40, you know,
yeah,
not like mature like I.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Susan.
No problem. Thank you, Christine.
You're welcome. All righty. I think there's only one other person. I'm not going to call you out if you want to talk.
Is that me by any
That
chance?
is you.
Oh no, there's another one.
Oh, two.
Looks like
two.
someone else there.
Sue and Stacy, and then actually Jeannie is just signing on.
Stacy, you can go first if you'd like. I'll
Wait,
go
what?
real quick if you're since you're really resisting it. So I've just had a lot of fun with this experience. I wanted to make it really fun. My intention going in was to have fun and make it playful. So I did my photographic work normally is I do in-camera gestural abstraction. So I did something completely different and used representational photographs and did animated haiku poems on them. And it was just, you know, it was playful and light, but there were also, you know, multiple layers of meaning in the works. And it was really, it was fun to see how my partner responded. And she would Pasha Goodwin is who I was paired with, and she would take my photograph and then use that and build a new piece of her own incorporating my photo. And then I would just kind of respond to a thread in what she created and start fresh with a new photo. So I have a library of 80,000 photographs. So I went back into my archives and that's what I pulled from to do these. And just the experience of just communicating. We at the beginning, we started out with like 2 or 3 sentences in the email. And by the end, it was just nothing but the image or the link to the photo, to the video. That was it. And so just communicating purely back and forth through our work was interesting and fun. So I enjoyed the experience. I really appreciate it. I'm doing the next round, and I'll probably do as many as you have coming up. My only regret is that I didn't jump in sooner.
Aw, well, I'm so glad you're participating now, and it's so great to see you.
Likewise.
Sue.
Yeah, so this is my 2.5 round try. I did one and then I tried another that just didn't somehow get going. I think the guy I was working with had a work schedule that made it hard for him to keep going with it. And then this short one, which happened to be a very busy time. So it's been interesting because I think I learned like the first time I was very focused on a theme that I was trying to develop, and that was, you know, sort of fun, but by this time it seemed like I was just trying to keep it going and get the 24-hour turnaround, and I had some communication with my partner, Michelle Lopato, who said that she uses Photoshop in order to respond quicker, to make something quicker. So I actually tried some Photoshop things, which was fun, but a different way of having a time sink. So I'm thinking about what the gentleman earlier was talking about, is putting feeling into your work and painting versus painting the pretty picture sort of tension. Because what I think happened was that I pushed myself to be more spontaneous and expressive and try something different and not worry so much about a theme or continuity or how good it was. Of course, I worry about that, but you know, to let go of old styles and just try some new things. So that was fun, and I feel like it. One thing it did is it got me inspired to want to learn photo manipulation even more, because that was really fun. Except I don't have any time, but other than that issue. So it's a great opportunity. I don't even remember how I've heard about this, somewhere in the middle of your set of these rounds. Maybe someone through the Ann Arbor Women Artists put something out there. So I don't know if that's, but anyway, it's been really fun. I appreciate the opportunity to be involved.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Thank you for participating.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see if I can keep it together to do the next round.
There will be more. So, you know, some people have
Okay.
picked one or two here or there as needed, but I'll continue doing it. So.
All right. Yeah, it's a very cool idea. It's nice to connect people from so far away together.
Definitely. Awesome. Thank you. And then Jeannie, you are last but definitely not least. You're muted.
Unmute. There we go. Sorry to be so late. First of all, I just one thing after another today. Like I had family stuff that ran late, and then my phone got wet at the beach, and so I couldn't charge it. So I had to charge it on the battery pad until it dries out. You know, because you can't connect the connector, and so that was annoying, and because you can't even prop it up, you know, to do that properly. And then I just couldn't get in. Francisco helped me get in. So I don't know, I just could not get in the link. So big apologies. And I have to tell my partner that I'm so sorry I missed her. We had a great time. She was just, you know, really awesome how she like played off of my initial post, and then we just kind of like played off of each other. And I mean, each time I've done this, this is the 6th time out of 7 that I've done this. And again, as other people have been saying, you know, I just want to keep doing them. I mean, they're so inspiring no matter how difficult other things are going. And, you know, this is just like a pure joy, you know, it's a pure joy to be able to express that through my poetry. And it's really kind of made me, and like you probably know, Christine, more than anyone, that you know, my photography, iPhone photography, was never that amazing. Like it was always like, okay, I'm trying to take a picture of somebody's art and make it centered, you know, or I'm taking a cat picture or whatever. And so this has really, you know, I mean, I know like over the years I've developed, you know, better photo habits with the phone, but this has really made me see things in sort of a more artistic, visual way. And I can't go on a walk. Anyone, you know, Jack, my significant other, or my son, or my friends who take walks with me during these times know that no matter what time of day or night, I've always got my phone. I'm like, wait, I have to cross the street and get the shot. And these are just like neighborhood junkie stuff, but I'm always looking for something that I think fits in with whatever I'm working on. For you guys, you know, for this. So it's been really nice for that, as well as for, you know, returning me to an appreciation of the poetry that I had really stopped writing for a long time. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank
Anyway,
you so
so
much,
yeah. So anyway, you know, I love doing this as usual, and I probably don't have much to say specifically about this process, except that it's always a pleasure to attend these and see what other people have worked on. And I did have the time this morning to review the post of you know, of the exhibition, and it all looks gorgeous. And each exhibition is fresh and different. I feel like each one is different.
Definitely, they are.
Yeah. So yeah. So just thank you for doing this, and I'm definitely doing 8. And I love the work. You know, for those of you that are still here, like I love seeing Karen and Francisco's work together. I love seeing so many of these pairings and how they play off of each other is really lovely.
Yeah, I know it's, yeah. And like, you know, I talked about at the beginning when, especially if like I know the artist through the whole process, to see the work that comes in that's like different from what they've done previously, it's always exciting to me too. You know, just to see how they've pushed themselves or experimented or played or, you know, tried sculpture rather than digital, or, you know, so it's based on who you're paired with, you know, and that's the cool thing, is like how you inspire each other that way. So
yeah, I mean, just really, it's been really lovely to do that. Just really super lovely to do that. And I've really, you know, really enjoyed it. And you know, and each round offers a different kind of like fruit as you know, so it's lovely.
Yeah,
thank you for doing it, you know.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Awesome. I think we got everybody. I want to make sure I haven't missed anybody. Thank you for your comment, Ashley. And thank you, Marta. And I think we're done. So thank you all for being here and participating and talking about your work in the process. And we have a week break, 1 week break before call and response 8 starts. So please like share the call with your friends, you know, on Facebook, and let's get some new people in. Let's get some more people. We don't have as many that have applied this time so far, but that always changes, you know, within the last few days. But, and it's a little longer, round 8 is a little longer than 2 weeks. So, but it's still gonna be just as exciting. So thank you. And I will see you guys on Facebook or Instagram or somewhere out there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Also,
Take
this is
care.
recorded and it'll be on YouTube.
Bye.
Awesomeness.